Minnesota Lynx 104-72 winners tonight over the Toronto Tempo. Dominant performance by the Minnesota Lynx. I mean, there's not a whole lot more you can say about it than a thorough ass whooping. Ninth straight win. They now are up 3 games in the standings over the Aces, who are on pace to win tonight against the New York Liberty. But this is a different Minnesota Lynx team than the one we've been watching all season. This is definitely a different team than the one we've been watching because as dominant as they looked, it was just different because now Napheesa Collier is back in action and she still looks like she's feeling herself out a little bit with this team and it's now becoming a bit of an adjustment for everyone involved. But a 104-72 throttling of the Toronto Tempo in Toronto is definitely good news for Lynx fans. Olivia Miles, 16 points in 23 minutes. A shocking stat here for you. Shocking. 0 assists, 0 turnovers. Just, shocking statistic. She did have 3 rebounds. She was 6 for 15. Courtney Williams had 16 points on 6 of 11 shooting. She had 5 assists. Ken McBride had 13 on 5 of 11. Napheesa Collier had 16 points in 22 minutes, 5 boards, 2 assists. Now you're starting to see a little bit of a regression in the scoring from Natasha Howard, 9 points, only took 8 shots, 8 rebounds, and they're playing with a very, very small lineup. It's a very small lineup. This is bluntly, a short lineup. Howard's 6'2". She's the tallest player on the court for the Lynx. And this is definitely going to be a team that will be interesting to watch to see how they come together because Collier is playing largely on the outside. I saw her in the corner a bunch. They did run pick and roll really with Olivia Miles and Natasha Howard. So watching them as they go the rest of the season will definitely be something. They shot 48%, 45% from 3, 13 and 29. Out rebounded Toronto 36-26. After the first quarter, Toronto led 19-18. They led by as many as 9, I believe it was, in the first quarter. The Lynx came out real sluggish. Cheryl Reeve called the timeout. And then from that point on, I mean, it was all Minnesota Lynx. They actually took a lead at 18-16. And Laura Juskaiti hit a 3 off the board to end the first. But after that, it was Lynx all night. They just absolutely blew them out of the building. I scored them by 10 in the second, by 17 in the third, and even by 6 in the fourth to get to the final score. The Tempo were lacking tempo. They led by Juskaiti, who had 19. Mabry had 16, and only other production they got was off the bench from Nayara Sabali, who had 10, and Isabel Harrison did not play. And it was a rather a pedestrian performance by the typically higher scoring Toronto Tempo. Let's take a look at some of the highlights of tonight's game for the Minnesota Lynx. Take a look right here. We got some stuff here. Off of the inbound pass, you got that ball over to Courtney Williams down, drops it into Olivia Miles. That was a great play. That was in the first quarter. Really nice play right there. Moving up, here we got Collier over to McBride. Bang, 3-pointer. Nothing but net. You know, Olivia Miles, she didn't do that well from the field. I mean, she was 6 of 15. I mean, there was a point where she missed like 4 or 5 straight shots on like one possession. Here we got Courtney Williams going left, pull up, mid range, bang. She is a mid range monster for sure. As you can see the score, they have the lead now. Natasha Howard backdoors it over to give and go to Collier for the layup. Another another one from McBride. It was 50-41 at the end of the half. You keep moving on up. It's 52-41. Courtney Williams, look at that pass right to Natasha Howard. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Another 3 right here from Napheesa Collier. Here we got, look at that put back there by Natasha Howard. Courtney Williams goes right, pull up, 17, 18 footer, bang. Courtney Williams, man, she is one hell of a mid-range player. People, her mid-range game is just disgusting. This is one of the few times I remember Napheesa Collier posting up because a lot of the game she was playing from the perimeter. We got a three from Dorka. And you see, it's a blowout at this point, complete blowout. There's Maya Caldwell. And these are all backups now that are in the game. And you got Minnesota Lynx win 104-72. Minnesota Lynx are the winners tonight against the Toronto Tempo. Like I said, man, this is a team right now that is crazily finding itself. I mean, as nuts as that might sound, they are finding themselves because they haven't had a lot of opportunity yet to play together. And Napheesa Collier just got back right before the break, and they look I mean, they looked after the first quarter, they looked absolutely fantastic. But you could see they're still searching. You could see this is a team that's trying to figure it out, and they have the coach, they have the weapons to get there. There is obviously there's a size issue for this team. They don't have a ton of size. You know, when you're starting power forward 6'1", but Collier plays way bigger than 6'1", as we know. And Natasha Howard is 6'2". And they're going to have a very, very balanced offensive attack. As you see Collier really step into this in the final 14 games. You know, I think you're going to see them figure things out with Miles and how her approach is because she is still a rookie. And it's a lot easier when you are arguably the number one option, and as she seemed to be for the first 28 games. You know, she was the number one option for 28 games, and their offense was literally running through her and running with pick and roll with Natasha Howard. And Kayla McBride has been an absolute heater in the month of July, and Courtney Williams has the ability to do what she does on a consistent basis. And you have three of the top defensive guards statistically in the WNBA, they're going to be one hell of a tough team to deal with. They're going to be really tough to deal with. And I don't know, you know, at this point, I mean, they've won 9 straight. I don't know who can compete with them. Last year, when they were leading the league for most of the season, they kind of faded down the stretch. Well, I don't know that you're going to see a fade now because Collier's now back in the building, and she's just going to get better. She's just going to look better. She's going to get more comfortable, get back into the flow, and it's going to be something to see. I don't know that anyone can compete with this team. I know I have made my picks about who I think is winning the championship, and I'll stand on my pick for now. But if we see a team with Collier, I mean, hell, last year y'all saw the Aces win 16 straight games to close the season. Could the Minnesota Lynx win 23 straight games to close this season and finish 38-6? I mean, that's a tall task, but I mean, it's possible. It's possible. They are dominant on the road, 13-2. They're 11-4 at home. And they got 4 real weapons who can completely take over a game in Collier, McBride, Miles, and Williams. It's as loaded a roster as it gets on the first 5 because their bench is okay, but their first 5 are it's as good as any in the WNBA. It might arguably be the best starting 5 in the WNBA from 1 through 5. But we shall see. But tonight the Minnesota Lynx were 104-72 winners over the Toronto Tempo. Get all your Minnesota Lynx information right here. Her Game, Her Way Women's Basketball. Minnesota Lynx Unfiltered. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow, leave your comments. What were your thoughts of tonight's game? Leave them in the comments. Do appreciate y'all as always. Let's come on now.